Sarah.
You're okay, thank God. You had me worried there for a minute.
I'm fine. Lucky Vic got us down to one piece.
Here.
Hang on a minute. So much for that. Not much use for it now, anyway.
I think you'll need that more than we will.
Where'd you get the vest?
It was in the chopper. The crash wrecked everything else.
RPGs are thorough that way.
Don't get that impression?
Sam? What the hell are you still doing here? Get your bony ass over to the White House.
I'm not leaving my daughter here, Vic. Sarah, can you work your way around?
Dad, it's all right.
She'll be fine, Sam. We're 6 blocks from my office. My people are coming to meet us. Grim needs your help now.
Grim can wait. I'm not taking any chances with Sarah.
Dad, he's right. Go do what you have to do. Trust me, we'll be fine. I'll see you again soon, I promise.
And welcome back. We are now in Washington. Of course, last time we left, apparently Vic did not foresee them having air defenses around the White House. Real genius, Vic. So we're gonna see here I'm playing with the proximity mine. I've been talking about this for quite a while. I am an idiot who did not know I could get this for free. So I'm finally playing with something that I did not realize we could have had since Whitebox. Here you see they kind of set up a choke point for me, which I usually do to them. You don't want to go through those 2 doors that I was just standing by because you'll get murdered. And that is not good. So you'll also notice we got the bulletproof vest. I've noticed no difference between damage. I think it's just because... That was the proximity mine going off, by the way. I think it's just because you lost your portable EMP, so they had to claim that you had something new to replace it with. And of course I screwed myself over by hiding in the wrong spot. But you run back here, they seem to forget where you are very quickly. And apparently that was good enough for last known position. You have to be 10 meters away and kill people. At least 10 meters away, that is. So you can be further away, I guess? But I don't get that very often. I am quite bad at ranged kills. And you can see I kind of went for an action feel for that sequence. And by went for, I mostly mean I fucked up very early on and just went with it. So, this coming part, I am not going to be talking for much because it actually is a fairly nice piece. They have a lot of people in the streets, and I really think they did a pretty good job here. I do also think this is the second level that shows off, you know, they were thinking of doing cover in crowd, because there are so many big crowds, and you'll see later on there is one section in particular that cover in a crowd would have been really fucking helpful. But that's not yet. So I am going to shut up during this sequence and let you guys just take in exactly what's happening here, because they really did do a great job with this. So enjoy it.
You gotta call the army to deal with this shit. You gotta call the National Guard.
They already did, man. Saw this whole line of Humvees heading into the city. Guys in black body armor were getting out and setting up checkpoints.
That ain't the Guard, man. That's the Black Arrow or some shit. Some private merc company that the government hired because they ran out of National Guard.
Mercs. Makes sense. Guard wouldn't shoot down no helicopter.
No way.
Yeah. There was this chopper coming in real low. One of the Black Arrow guys just took it right out. Bam.
All the power's gone. Everything's broken. There's nothing we can do.
Don't know. It was headed for the White House.
I'm sure the kids are okay, honey. As soon as they get the phones working again, we'll call your parents and make sure they're all right.
Well, what if they're not all right? We don't even know what's happening here. The lights went out. The electronics
gotta get her out!
There's nothing you can do for her, okay? She's dead. You're gonna get yourself killed.
No! I'm gonna get her out! Jenny!
And that's it. That's all the citizens kind of panicking in the streets. I think they did a pretty decent job with that. Now there you could shoot out the guard that is now talking to a citizen, but I decide, fuck that, I'm going to actually try and ghost this. And I do a pretty decent job. This is what I talked about a bunch of times already, where I ghosted and didn't kill a single person, like a real Splinter Cell game. Not like 24 the game. And one thing you're going to notice, I was thinking of taking them all out, but this section's a pain in the fucking ass if you actually do try and take on everyone, just because they're all positioned in such a way that there's a point where you're going to have at least 5 or 6 guards on you, and not much to actually provide decent cover. So you'll see here, I sneak around this guy, he doesn't turn around. Eventually I'll sneak around, there we go. And here I'm trying to leave the section.
Jesus Christ.
They detect me as I forget where the fuck I'm supposed to go.
We're holding position here. Keep alert for hostile contact.
Did I take them on? No. Okay. Yeah, I do run, and I missed it again. It's like a fucking circus here, isn't it? Do I get it the third time? I really hope I do, because this is quite embarrassing. There we go. You're supposed to go through those, I forgot. And here you're gonna see a weapon stash I didn't edit out because I did this all in one take, and fuck you all. Also, these are the new weapons, so I'm showing stuff off. These weapons were free downloads just like the proximity mines, and I didn't know they were there. I actually kind of like that submachine gun that I just upgraded fully, so I'm using it. I think I used it a few times in the co-op as well. Now, this is actually the part that would be so much easier if you could blend into the crowd like in Assassin's Creed. But you can't. And where all those soldiers are, that's where you're supposed to go. So they've really made it fucking hard here.
Get away from the barricade.
I have no idea what that noise was, by the way. Sounds like something crashing, but I have no clue. If you walk inside the fence here, by the way, there is, they're gonna see you. You're quite far away, and they're still going to see you, so I walked at the very edge of the map. You can see it zoom out and say, hey, get to the White House. So here, this is actually a somewhat challenging section, though overall this level, if you know what you're doing, isn't so challenging. It's a lot of, you have to know where all the people are coming from and all that shit, but not so much where you actually have to deal with a lot of people at once. It's just that the very few people can catch you off guard if you're not prepared. This is not one of those areas. This is just a shitload of people that you kind of have to get close to deal with. You see, they have the Black Arrow, of course. They're here to control everything. Supposedly for riot control. We'll find out very quickly why Tom Reed actually wants him here. I'm not going to spoil it, but it comes up later in this video.
Return to your homes immediately.
And here I thought I had a scoped weapon, so maybe I should have just taken a different machine gun. Who knows? And apparently I just like sitting in this spot. I promise eventually I will get through this. See, I come through with my promises, like when I promised to ghost an area, kind of. I did it. Though it's very easy to make promises when I have this pre-recorded and I'm making commentary like weeks later.
Get away from the barricade.
Oh, did I mention before? Yes, I did. I already mentioned that, hey, we don't have a portable EMP anymore. You saw him throw away the backpack. And so, no more killing like WF guy wants me to. Fuck you, WF guy. Fuck you for confusing me and for some reason making me think you were B-Man. Again, sorry, B-Man. You're still a good sport. So you have this crowd, you can't blend into them. It looks like you were supposed to. Maybe they should have just used the Assassin's Creed engine, I don't know. Speaking of Assassin's Creed, actually, I don't remember if this game came out after the first Assassin's Creed, but compared to the Splinter Cell, the actual Splinter Cell games, as I will call them, because this one still doesn't feel like a Splinter Cell game. Compared to those, this one feels a lot like the Assassin's Creed games, in that, you know, you can get a couple of stealth kills, but for the most part, you're going to be taking them on head-to-head. Like, maybe I'm just terrible at Assassin's Creed, but that's basically how I play it. I do a lot of sorting. And there we get to see another pro flashbang on my part. I believe I have mentioned last video, I am terrible at flashbangs. I blind myself regularly. And here we go, transition into the next area, which is another really short one and in this video. So, see you guys there.
It was a bad day to work at the White House. Black Arrow's outer perimeter was there to prevent accidental witnesses. Then there was the inner cordon around the White House to make sure nobody bothered Reed while he did his dirty work. After all, the army was eventually going to get its ass in gear and start airlifting people into the city. Then there was going to be some explaining to do. Reed's solution was brilliant. If the cavalry showed up after he'd taken out the president, then Black Arrow was there to help secure the White House and our new president. If not, Black Arrow would be the scapegoat, and their resistance would buy enough time for him to finish the job.
And there we go again, Tom Snidely Reed, as I am going to call him, because he has no issues with killing all his henchmen, whatever. He's just your stereotypical bad guy. Though that actually does bring up something I forgot to talk about on the last map that I mentioned with Prentice. I am still disappointed by his death. Like, you have really 4 main villains. Tom Reed is the last one. You have Lucius Galliard, who really, you know, you knew him for a very brief time, of course, but at the same time, it was not so terrible, I guess? I don't know exactly how to put it. He does die right in front of you, though. You have the guy that died to the EMP, I am blanking on his name, Robertson, I want to say? Black guy. The only black guy in this game that is not Lucius Galliard. You have him, and he gets killed by an EMP right in front of you. Pretty awesome death, to be honest. Then you have Prentice. You don't even see him right before he dies. You see him, like, abusing a frickin' a scientist, and that's the last time you actually see him. I just feel like it's a disappointment for a major villain where Sam doesn't even have a face-to-face conversation with him at any point. cinematically, and I might sound like a snob, I think they just missed an opportunity to do some really, you know, a decent job with all these villains. It really does seem like some of the villains are very hastily brought in and killed. Even Lucius Galliard, I like his death. I like how quickly he comes in and out, but at the same time, it seems like he's a pretty major player in this to find out about him in one level, and then he dies the next level. So, character-wise, character story-wise at least, this might not be the best game, but story arc overall, I still think it's pretty good. So here we are, we're on White House territory. We blew up that truck so they would open the gates, and also the main gate there is blown open, but again, that's another area. If you try and go through it, it's basically suicide, because they have, I think, 5 people that are checking it out, so you don't want to do that. You see there are a couple of Secret Servicemen dead. Have 3 Black Arrow people marked off. And I believe there are 2 more in this area. I hear 2 people talking, but we've seen before that doesn't mean shit in this game. Though now we saw them just now. So, that was a useless comment on my part.
Next time, look up.
I got signs of a possible ambush.
And there we go. Now we're heading into the part that, if you don't know what's coming, this part is ridiculously hard, because you have to have very quick reaction times. Like here, if you even wait till the next area where I jump to, you are basically screwed over. Also, if you don't have an execute, this is a lot harder. I did, and might not be the best viewing, but fuck you all. I'm taking the Proteus approach in this video, apparently. And there's the one guy that's running around the other parts of the gardens. I've never been on White House grounds, so I don't know if that's accurate. But I think this is a pretty nice area. You can run through there, and I didn't, but I did that all the time the first couple of times that I tried this level. And at this point, the music that I complimented last level is getting quite loud. Here's another point where they kind of screw you over if you don't know what's happening. Oh god, the music got quieter. Thank you. Thank you, Splinter Cell. This is a point where you could ghost around them, but what fun is that? I want to kill people now. I already went through one area where I didn't kill anyone. Though even that I wasn't that good at. And you have this little room. If you wait too long to get into it, they know exactly where you are. Which makes sense, because you have to jump through glass to get here. And I shot through a door. Mark and Execute is definitely flawed. So there's really not much to say at this point. Like I said in the last video, if I can fault this game for anything other than the length, and with how little they actually have gameplay-wise, the length is actually not that bad. I am going to give them a pass on that, for the fact that at this point there's nothing left to do. We've done everything we can. In fact, I artificially added it by mistake when I got the proximity mines. And so here you can hear the fighting in the White House.
Sam, where are you?
Coming through the front door.
Negative. Reed locked it down. I'll have the garden door open for you instead.
Got it. On my way.
And there you go. We can't go through the front door, have to go through the gardens. I guess. I don't know. It still seems pretty close to the front door anyway. For a history and political science major and a law student, I don't know much about the White House, I will admit. I do know that Andrew Jackson threw a party on the front lawn when he got elected, but that's because Andrew Jackson is the fucking man. Second coolest president ever. Coolest, Teddy Roosevelt. But that's a whole nother story. Today we're going to save Hillary Clinton. I don't remember the president's name offhand, and she's a woman that looks a lot like Hillary.
Jesus Christ! Holy cow!
I don't like Hillary, though. But another story altogether. Actually, that might line up with 24 the game, that whole idea. I have never watched 24, as I've mentioned before, but I do seem to remember something about a president who's a woman, and the woman might... or I might be thinking of Prison Break, where they kill one president to get a woman in there. Come to think of it, that is probably Prison Break. I actually watched that show for 2 seasons and somewhat remember that plot. Anyway, that's it for this level. We're heading in the door. I'll see you guys in the White House. And that's it. See you guys.
Where's the president? Get to the West Wing! Get to the press room! We can hold them there! Is the president okay? Has anyone seen the president? Stay out of the green room! This isn't a guided tour! Move it! To the green room! Go!